Hello everyone, and welcome to Module 6 of this training course on the Internet of Things for Hydrologic Measurements. My name is Douglas Nyole. This module is part of a series of modules that have been prepared for this training course. In this module, we will be specifically building an improved IoT system that contains more than one sensor. Remember, in the previous module, that's Module 5, we built a basic IoT system composed of the microcontroller and a temperature sensor. In this module, we'll have more than one sensor, in this case, 2 temperature sensors. Imagine you want to make a complex connection for the loop. That is, you want to connect several sensors, as much as 10 or beyond, to one microcontroller. Would you make a connection like what you see in this image? Certainly not. That's why we have a breadboard, like what you see to the right of this image. A breadboard allows you to make several connections of sensors to the microcontroller. It also allows you to organize them in a neat way, like what you see in the image to the right. And how is the wiring in a breadboard? If you hold the breadboard in a horizontal manner, like what you see, at the top and at the bottom, they are wired horizontally, as you can see in the blue line and the red line. This is where you connect the GND and the power cables. And that allows the entire horizontal line to be connected with GND and power line. At the center, the pins are connected vertically. This is where you connect your sensors. So what you do is you connect the GND from the microcontroller to one of the horizontal lines at the top, and the power is connected to one of the horizontal lines at the top as well, for example in the red one. In this image, you see how a microcontroller, a breadboard, and sensors are connected in a very neat way. For example, at the top is a sensor that measures soil moisture, and as indicated, you see how the microcontroller is connected to the breadboard and to the sensor. We also have a temperature and humidity sensor that is well organized, a light sensor, and a switch button. So when you're building your IoT system with several sensors, you should be able to use a breadboard to connect different sensors in an organized manner, which are then connected to the microcontroller, and you're able to have an IoT system that is well built, neat, and performs effectively and efficiently. Now let's go ahead and prepare to build our IoT system with 2 temperature sensors. What do we need for this exercise? We need 2 temperature sensors, an OP4 microcontroller, a computer with VS Code and PyMaker installed, breadboard, jumper wires, and a micro USB cable. Together we will put all this together in an organized manner and have our second IoT system. In this slide, we will demonstrate how to connect the 2 sensors directly to the microcontroller. That is assuming you don't have a breadboard. So in this case, we have the 2 sensors. We start by connecting the power line, that is a power cable, from the 2 sensors to the same pin, that is a 3.3 volt. Next, we connect the GND from the 2 sensors to the same pin, that is a GND pin. And finally, we connect the data cable from the 2 sensors to the same pin also, that is P10. Using the terminal, navigate to the folder that contains the temperature sensor files. Select the file main_new.py. It should be able to open, as you can see. Now go ahead and run this file. What do you observe? Now you should be able to get temperature measurements from the 2 sensors. While the script is still running, select one sensor and hold it as demonstrated in the image. What do you notice? Does the measurements from one sensor change? Of course, you should be able to notice that the temperature in one of the readings is increasing, while the other one is oscillating around the same point. We will now demonstrate how to connect the sensors to the microcontroller but using the breadboard. Remember, in slide 5, we were holding the breadboard in a horizontal manner. Now, it's more of in a vertical manner. Go back to slide 5 and see how the breadboard was configured and compare it with the way we are holding it right now. In this regard, we regard this as vertical. Go ahead and connect the GND and the red, which is the power line or the power cable, to the breadboard as indicated. In this case, in the breadboard, the lines, that is the pins to the left, the first two vertical lines to the left and to the right, are connected vertically, while the pins to the center, that is indicated A, B, C, D, and E, and F, G, H, I, and J, are connected horizontally. We then transfer the GND and the power to the center, because this is where we will connect the sensors. We then connect the data line from pin 20 to the center of the breadboard. Next, we connect the 3 lines, that is the 3 cables, from the sensor to the center of the breadboard. Remember, they have to be in line with what the connections we have made. For example, the yellow lines have to be in the same horizontal line with the yellow line from the sensor. Same applies to the GND and the red, which is for the power. For the second sensor, we connect it to pin 16. We do the same for the GND and the power. We then connect the sensor and ensure that they fall in the same horizontal line with the connections we've made to the microcontroller. We have now successfully connected the 2 sensors to the microcontroller by passing it through the breadboard in an organized manner, as you can see. Still in the same folder that contains the files that we provided for you for the temperature sensor, create a duplicate of the main_new.py and name it main_new2.py. Now try and edit the script to capture the 2 pins being used to set up the IoT that uses a breadboard. Remember, we connected it to P20 and P16. Therefore, in the script that you see, make some changes to the script to introduce P20 and P16, where the data cables from the 2 separate sensors are connected to. If you have been able to make those changes successfully, save the new script as a new file, of course, and upload it to the microcontroller. Now go ahead and run the script in PyMaker console. You should be able to get the sensor measurements from the 2 sensors once again. Thanks, and that's the end of this. Go ahead and try.